You know that commercial, the Dos Equis commercial, that says he's the most interesting man in the world? They're off by one. Phillip Giambri is the most interesting man in the world. He's done everything. He's lied about doing everything. He introduces us to some of our new favorite readers, including Pauline, and he'll be down there in hell with the rest of us, I can guarantee it. Please welcome back Phillip Giambri.
Thank you. Since the last year, I read here in October, I think, of last year, I've been doing the open mic circuit and learned a lot, trying to step up my game a little. I wrote this piece, it's called Open Mic for the Disenfranchised. It's a kind of a hand salute to all those people who put their soul and their ass on the line every night on open mic. We're the open mic gypsies, the wannabes, the almost famous, the has-been famous, the never going to be famous. We're the next wave, the new wave. Some of us, it's an endless wave. We'll show up for the opening of a garage door if you give us 5 minutes and a microphone. Open mic is our training wheels, it's our mistress, and it's our siren's call. Who are we? We're the aging Mulberry Street guinea comic whose jokes now mock the Guido Soprano's Jersey Shore white beater t-shirt image of himself he so carefully constructed and played out for most of his life. We're the radical Swarthmore lesbo who chooses to protest now without words or signs, displaying her flawless porcelain body in burlesque reviews that ridicule our obsession with fame and sexuality, while titillating male tourist imagination with the possibility of wonders that will never be. We're the English lit PhD, bullied by the kids on his block for being an uppity nigger too smart for his own damn good. Well, now he's relentlessly rapping and slamming his troops on open mic. No apologies, no regrets, and in your fucking face, brother. We're the second generation freckled Mick, singing songs of rebellion and anarchy to comrades in an Irish homeland that only seems real now on a drunken St. Paddy's Day. We're the skateboarding middle-class Jap kid who grew up on the Beatles and rock and roll, wants to put his own stamp on our music, but he has to work in his mom's sushi joint until he gets ready. We're the lapsed Catholic ex-altar boy, too damaged for any real relationships, whose poems cry out his loss of faith after being irreverently probed as a child by his parish priest. We're the self-educated beaner busboy, studying English and writing poems on a park bench, who dreams in vain of becoming a real waiter and replacing that pretty white girl who smiles enticingly at him while stealing part of their shared tips to feed her habit. We're the Afghan war burnout who traded bullets and IEDs for shots of heroin and Jameson to ease the pain, while writing diaries of a love lost in Ohio and drifting off into combat nightmares at AA meetings. We're the gifted Israeli artist who, unmarried, unapologetic, and rejected by her community for the crime of being single and female at 40, she now blesses the locals here with tattoos of exquisite beauty and joyous songs of a new love. We're the dropout fag college student from Levittown who didn't fit his parents' expectations of who he was supposed to be, but who fits perfectly into a slinky lame cocktail gown and stilettos for a stand-up routine, and turns tricks on the side for more money than his father makes in a month. We're the Hasidic Jew boy who dropped acid, trekked the Himalayas, and became a Buddhist monk, spelling out saffron rap poems of beauty and oneness on street corners for passers-by who won't listen. I'm the pimple-faced kid from the burbs, escaping a boring, tedious life, popping oxy from my mom's medicine cabinet until I leave home and I can sing my songs down here. We're the Nuyorican street boy from Avenue B who graffitis his way into showings at prominent village galleries, raps his shit on open mic, and gets to fuck a beautiful blonde white girl from Minneapolis, which is all he ever really wanted to do. We're all here, downtown, in the village on open mic. The line in the sand is 14th Street. You cross it, you take your chances. Welcome to our world. This piece is called Playing Picasso. It's late. I'm sitting alone at the bar working on my fourth double jack. I'm feeling pretty mellow. She leans across 2 seats, taps me on the shoulder, stares me dead in the face, and slurs out, You look like Pablo Picasso. She's cute. I guess late 30s maybe. A great body packed into tight black leather, her hair's long and straight, dyed black, and bangs almost covering those haunted, crazy eyes. Exactly the woman I've always been a sucker for. Pablo Picasso, yeah, I bet you get that all the time, huh? No, not really. She spots my fancy camera sitting on the bar and she says, "Hey, you're a photographer, right?" I said, "Sometimes, mostly I just tell stories." She flashes a broad Cheshire cat grin and says, "Me too, that's what I do." And she drifts off into some rambling drug story with a couple of lame attempts at being funny. You know, everything you say seems to have kind of a sardonic twist of some kind, like a comedian or something. She smiles up at me suggestively. "Well, I am a comedian." "Really? What kind of comedy do you do?" She says, "Dada." "A Dada comedian? Is she really that hip? Come on." She asked me, "What kind of comedy do you do?" And I repeat, "I'm not a comic, I tell stories." And she coyly replies, "Well, I'm sure my stories are a lot better than yours," as she slowly moves her face and lips up close to target range for an attack. I say, I have a Speedo at home that's older than you." She dusts it off saying, "You couldn't come close to my stories. Have you ever done crack?" No, I stopped at mescaline and coke, but obviously you didn't." She ignores my comment and she says, "What comedians do you like?" I say, "Well, Sarah Silverman, Andy Kaufman, Richard Pryor, and Lenny Bruce are my all-time favorites, though. They always went to the edge and jumped off regardless of the consequences." She says, "Wow, you know, everyone thinks I am Sarah Silverman." "Really?" Actually, in a dark bar, she could look a little like Sarah Silverman. "And Andy Kaufman is my hero. He's my role model." She rests her hand on my thigh. My Cialis instantly kicks in, telling my body I'm 40 years old again. And Jack Daniels is agreeing with him. He said, "You can do this, buddy." She seems pretty intelligent, somewhat creative, very sexy, and very fucked up. Just my kind of girl. I hand her my card and say, "Hey, come and see my next show." Why do they still entice me, these beautiful, intelligent crazies? Do they see the leftover crazy in these old eyes past the wrinkles in the beat-up face? Shouldn't she be able to see in me that it doesn't work? I'm living proof. I have the scars of battles lost with crazy drugs and booze. More important, why am I feeling this incredible emotion and sexual magnetism here? It's an old feeling, and I sure miss it. It feels good. But is it just the Cialis and the Jack Daniels, purely a chemical reaction? I don't think so. I know better, but still, I want to throw her on the back of a '60 Triumph Bonneville and race to some cheap motel and make hard bandit love to her. We're crazy, that's what we do, ain't it? You feel bad tomorrow, right? Well, we're both losers. Heading for a Bonnie and Clyde ending, two fucked up souls, irreversibly driving into a head-on, dead-on collision. She leans in and she hugs me way too tight. I feel myself wanting a lot more. Instead, I grab my camera and I head for the door as my erection suddenly gains all of my attention. I hear her yelling, "Hey, Pablo, why are you leaving, man?" And you know what? That's what I was wondering too. Thank you. I do the circuit with a lot of old bohos from the 50s, and they're always lamenting the demise of writing in the village and the quality of people who are appearing, and they don't seem happy anymore. This is for them, this is their voice. It's called mental projectile vomiting. It's not politically correct. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free, the wretched refuse from... Wait, aren't we all part of that wretched refuse? Aren't we the outcasts, the freaks, the faggots, the tattooed rockers, the weirdos, the nerds, the techno geeks from all those puckered-ass towns in the middle of America where we were bullied, ridiculed, and beat up? We came here to the village, immigrants from that other America, seeking refuge, freedom to let out the crazy creative shit inside. What happened? This was the village, home of Bohemia, free thought. When did we submit to politically correct? We let Giuliani and Bloomberg sucker us into becoming part of the great Idol of New York theme park? Is anything here left to experience for real? Washington Square Park has been cleaned up and made pristine. Tompkins Square Park. It's a playground for kids and dogs. They don't want you there anymore drinking and smoking weed. East Village has been gentrified, so you better be careful and behave yourself or you're going to get nailed. Little Italy, Mean Street, gangsters, bookies, social clubs, mafia, all gone. Nothing left but a couple tourist trap restaurants, some fake festivals, swallowed up whole by Chinatown. Times Square, Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, the Lion King, I Love New York t-shirts. The flea circus is gone, the dollar hot dogs, the midnight movie triple plays, all gone. The religious soapbox crazies, the Harlem hustlers, the sleazy jerk-off peeps are gone. Dive bars, tranny hookers, loose joints, everything's gone. Where do we get the provender for new stories, new adventures? Manhattan was always scary, but it was real, it was exciting. It fed the veins of generations of art junkies. The Village? Just another stop on the Grey Line bus tour now. We've all become background extras in the daily deluge of tour buses for TV and film crews. They invade our neighborhood, trying to package our environment, hoping to add some local color and excitement to their bland, made-for-middle America TV shows and movies. Art? It's video junk food, made for those same assholes and bullies we thought we left behind in Shit City, USA. Now we're safely contained and declawed like zoo animals. They gawk at us when they ride by on those double-decker buses. Or we enter their homes safely locked up in cages as background images on their widescreen high-def TVs. Our silent submission gives them permission to look down on us and feel superior. A Village bookstore hosts an open mic where performers like me are requested to not speak 5 specific 4-letter words because they might scare off the paying customers. If words scare you, maybe you should stay the fuck out of bookstores. Your children shout out those same words every day on their Orthodox and Christian school buses. We hear them. Didn't George Carlin win that fight for us a long time ago? This is the Village. If you don't like it, go back to Yonkers or Oyster Bay or wherever the fuck you come from, where your smiling, genteel neighbors are probably whispering those very same words about you behind your back. What happened to hang out, drink cheap wine, and talk about art? Stumbling out of the White Horse Tavern at 2 a.m., smelling wino piss and garbage on hot August sidewalks, wanting desperately to follow in the literary footsteps of O'Neill, Thomas, Kerouac, Ginsberg, Pfeiffer, Dylan, Mailer, Hamill, Kaiser, Corner, Ferlinghetti, and all the other immigrant vagabonds who painted portraits with words of the America we wanted to live in. I want to write poems on a midnight fire escape under moonlight. I want to make fast, intense love in a dark tenement doorway while a lower sight of fighting cock hurls into sunrise. I want to sing the songs of my life to the world with a guitar on a park bench. I want to get wild, get crazy, get creative, get arrested, get high. I just want to feel alive again. Hey, maybe we should all just dress up like beatniks and hippies and take pictures with the tourists and be done with it. Welcome to the I Love New York theme park. That's for my old BoBo Buddies. I'm 8 years old. I know one thing for sure. I love my mother. At 12, I think I love Jesus. At 14, I love Maureen, but she likes my best friend. At 16, I'm in love with Cass, but I'm dating her best friend. At 18, I'm just angry. I think nobody loves me. I hate everybody. At 21, Rosie's really in love with me. For almost a year, I'm too drunk to notice that she's a hooker. And too drunk to care, because I never even loved her. At 23, I'm madly in love with Carol. We're even engaged until she dumps me at 25, when I confess I really want to be an actor and not the middle-class banker I promised her. I know I'm being selfish. I'm still heartbroken. At 26, Sharon and I are deeply in love. She tortures me with flirtations and constant tests to prove that I love her. After 3 years of fights, anxiety, and exhaustion, I just quit loving her. It's then she chooses to become the woman that I originally thought I fell in love with. It's too late, it's over. She asked me if we could at least be fuck buddies. I said, sure, okay. At 30, I'm in love with Eileen, but hey, it's the onset of women's liberation. She weighs our relationship in terms of what her women's support groups feels is appropriate. She dumps me because they tell her I'm too sexist and not a sensitive enough guy. She leaves a parting message on my answering machine saying, "Thanks, you helped me grow." Grow what, a dick? At 32, I'm living with Susan. She's a free spirit. She feels that an open sexual relationship is necessary to make her fulfill herself as a woman. She runs off to Canada to live in a teepee with some hippie. And she leaves her needy sister in my apartment until I work up the guts to kick her out. I sleep with a lot of women during these summers of free love. I don't have much fun. And I got to clap 3 times. A friend offers a telling observation. She says, "You know, all the women you fall in love with are really the same fucked up person. They just look different." Wow. A moment of clarity there, huh? She offers me a blind date with her best friend to prove her point. I accept. And I believe I feel real love for the very first time. But still, 45 years later, here I am. And I find myself still wondering, what the hell is love? And I realize I may never know the answer. The feeling now seems more an abstraction rather than a tangible sensation. At this late stage in my life, I feel I know as little about love as when I started. I'm very grateful for the love I've been given, but I have no clear feeling for how much I ever honestly returned. Thank you. I got one more short piece. It's a quickie. I'll be out of here. I don't know exactly when or what the fuck happened. Nobody wants to get crazy anymore. Nobody seems to have the need to blow off steam and scream. After a couple of weeks of trying to be normal, I need to get crazy, if only for a few hours, just to stay sane. All my get crazy friends keep getting married, getting sober, getting religion, getting in rehab, getting in shape, or getting dead. I partied my way through 4 generations of get crazy friends. I keep losing them to real life. Nobody wants to get crazy anymore? What the fuck? Yeah!
You know, We 3 Productions discovered Phillip.
Yeah, you did.
I know I speak for Harold and Wayne when I say nothing pleases us more than taking a young poet and molding him in our image. and I definitely speak for myself when I say, Phil, I hope I look half as good as you do when I'm 30.